Okay, so this video is a continuation of the previous video, understanding the difference between an external and an internal arc. So let's look at this tangency problem here. Now clearly we can see from this tangency problem we have a straightforward two circles, one of radius 12 and one of radius 22. Alright, and then we have two arcs, one of radius 55 and then we have one of radius 85. Right, so one of the arcs are tangential to the smaller circle and one would be tangential to the larger circle. And here we could see one of the arcs will cut the other circle somewhere along this 10 millimeter mark, and the same thing for this end. So let's see how we could put this together. And the two circles, we could see it's separated by this 55 millimeter length. Alright, so let's see if we can line up these two circles first. So our first circle will be 22 radius, and then we know the difference in spacing would be 75. Okay, so the center of this circle lines up with the lowest part of this 12 radius circle. So we could use the circle tool. Let's use 2 point. So seeing that the radius is 12, the diameter will be 24. Alright. Now let's get this 10 height. So from the center of the first circle, let's go 10, and then let's take this 10 all the way across somewhere here. Right. Now let's look at the upper arc first. Right. Now to me, this arc is an internal arc because the circle that is tangential to it is at the inside of this arc. Alright, and let's go ahead and subtract. So we subtract 12 from the 55 and we'll get 43. Right, so we describe the arc, and this arc will be somewhere at the bottom of the shape because the point will be obviously to the bottom. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that first. A matter of fact, let's make circles. Now let's scribe our arc. Center, start, end. So from the center here, we need to scribe 43. Right, and then we know from this point here, if we scribe the 55, we will cut the first arc, and that will give us the center point. Alright, so right here we scribe 55. Lovely. Now let's go to the center radius, and using this point as center and this point as the radius, we have our circle. Now it confirms that this particular arc is in fact an internal arc, right? Because the smaller circle is inside of this arc. Alright, now right away let's go ahead and do the other arc. Right, so this arc would also be considered an internal arc. Alright, so we could go ahead and subtract 22 from 85, and that will give us 63, and we know our first arc will come somewhere above the shape. So from the center, of this circle, we're going to scribe the 63 somewhere here, and then from this point here, we're going to scribe an arc somewhere at a radius of 85. From this point, we're going to scribe an arc 85 somewhere here. Lovely. Now we're going to go using this point as center and this point as the radius. Now it's time for us to clean up our shape. So using the trim tool, so we don't need this, we don't need this, don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. So there we have it. This is our shape using the internal and the external rules.